I don't know how or where I first heard about Stiff, The Curious Lives of Human Cadavers, but I did have a working knowledge of Mary Roach's insightful and off-kilter approach to writing about the scientific world. She's contemplated space exploration, shared the scientific workings of sex, and she's even dissected the afterlife across 2 books. Stiff marks Roach's first foray onto bookshelves, and I checked this one out because A, it counts as one of my 5 nonfiction books that I promised to read this year, and B, because Rory Gilmore read it too. Somehow I feel Mary Roach would be weirdly pleased by these reasons. Stiff, as the subtitle suggests, explores the secret lives of human cadavers and examines their use in the medical field and beyond. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assume that most of you on any given day avoid thinking about the big sleep. And why would you? There's so much life to live and so few hours to get it all done. But Roach pushes past the existential red tape to take a closer look at how human bodies have been used to not only improve our lives, but also to improve the lives of generations to come. I didn't realize what purpose cadavers served outside of criminal investigations and first-year anatomy courses, so to say this book was an eye-opening experience is probably an understatement on my part. For instance, doesn't it make sense that plastic surgeons would use cadavers to practice surgeries? And wouldn't it seem logical to use actual human bodies while crash testing vehicles? Roach also explores the lives of beating heart cadavers and how hospital staff reconcile keeping a body alive in order to reclaim organs for donors in need. She also delves into the seedy, bizarre, and honestly quite icky history of cadavers used in the first anatomy classes. Think Burke and Hare if you need a memory jog. Roach tackles a wide range of topics here, and she does so with a warm sense of humor and an eye for graphic detail. Case in point, the plastic surgeon seminar. I think she said she was physically ill after this class, and I don't blame her. She gives an honest portrait of one of the organizers, and upon meeting this woman, the only commentary running through Roach's mind is, "You cut off heads, you cut off heads, you cut off heads." Roach also shares a story from a crash test facility after she's invited to have lunch with the staff, and she quickly regrets looking at a staff member's desk as she finds a photo documentary of recent crash test subjects. That's a great way to ruin some good pizza. While most of us might find these jobs amazingly disturbing, Roach treats her interviews with great respect and a dash of humor, all while humanizing the experience in general. For instance, in most testing scenarios, most researchers emphasize the need to cover a cadaver's hands. This isn't even a weird quirk, this is actually a coping mechanism used by professionals. You don't realize how much character and human identity are embodied in the hands until those hands are attached to a recently deceased individual. Roach also profiles a first-year anatomy course that requires its students to participate in a mass memorial service as a way to honor the people who donated their bodies to the program. If anything, I have a new level of respect for people who decide to donate their bodies to science, and I felt like Roach was advocating for more people to consider donating their remains in order to forward scientific research. While Roach doesn't tussle with the nitty-gritty of what happens to our consciousness after death, her exploration of what happens to our physical bodies is weirdly reassuring and will give you great conversation starters for at work or at parties. For example, flail chest. I will say it again, flail chest. If I haven't talked to you about flail chest yet, I can guarantee you I will in the near future. Overall, I'm glad Stiff was the first book I read for my nonfiction challenge this year, even if I had to be a wimp and put it down with some rather descriptive passages. Like I said, Roach touches on some intriguing topics and you will never be at a loss for great conversation openers. For her great wit and her impressive sense of curiosity, I gave Mary Roach 4 out of 5 stars for Stiff, and I feel I'll be picking up Packing for Mars very soon. So there, I can guarantee you won't be bored stiff by this title either. Yeah, I went there. I'm ending this review on a pun, you guys. Signing off.